When you're staring at a row of espresso machines in a showroom or scrolling through endless listings online, it's easy to feel the pressure of making the right choice. A lot of that pressure comes from the fear of spending a good chunk of money on something that looks impressive on paper but ends up gathering dust because it doesn't fit your routine. That's the exact spot I try to land in with these reviews, cutting through the hype and helping you figure out if the machine will actually serve you, not just your Instagram feed. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The BMTTULKI Super Automatic Espresso Machine promises a barista-level experience at home, complete with an automatic milk frother and a built-in container for latte and cappuccino drinks. At first glance, that sounds like the kind of all-in-one solution many of us have been hunting for, especially if you're juggling a morning commute, a couple of kids, and a desire for a decent crema without learning the intricacies of tamping. But before we get into whether it lives up to that promise, let's talk about the kind of daily life this machine is trying to slot into. If you're the type who enjoys a ritual grind, tamp, pull, froth once or twice a day, the convenience of a one-touch brew can be a genuine time saver. The BMTTULKI is built around a capsule-free bean hopper that feeds directly into a built-in grinder, so you're not buying pre-ground coffee or pods. In practice, that means you can keep a bag of beans on the counter, press a button, and walk away while the machine grinds, doses, and extracts. The automatic milk frother does the heavy lifting for lattes, cappuccinos, and even macchiatos, storing milk in a sealed container that can be refilled without taking the machine apart. For a busy household, that can translate into a reliable coffee break without a 15-minute learning curve each morning. On the flip side, the convenience comes with hidden trade-offs that often catch first-time owners off guard. The machine's water tank and bean hopper are both on the smaller side compared to larger commercial-grade units. If you're brewing 3 or 4 drinks back-to-back, you'll likely find yourself refilling the water tank or topping up beans more often than you'd expect. That's not a deal-breaker, but it does mean the machine shines most in single-serve or light to moderate use scenarios rather than a small office setting where dozens of drinks are pulled in a row. Another practical point is the cleaning routine. Automatic milk frothers are notorious for building up residue, and the BMTTULKI is no exception. The frothing system does have a self-clean cycle, but you still need to disassemble the milk container and run a rinse after a few uses to prevent stale flavors. If you're the kind of person who avoids cleaning tasks, that extra step could be a sticking point. The good news is that the drip tray and used coffee container are removable and dishwasher safe, which cuts down the manual scrubbing time. Now, who exactly should consider this machine? First, think about your coffee consumption pattern. If you drink espresso-style drinks a few times a week and you value the ability to switch between a straight shot, a milk-based latte, or a cappuccino without learning separate techniques, the BMTTULKI fits nicely. It's also a solid pick for small families where 1 or 2 members appreciate a caf-like drink, but you don't need a high-volume workhorse. The built-in grinder allows you to experiment with different bean origins and roast levels, giving you a bit of a playground if you enjoy tweaking flavor profiles. Conversely, if you're a coffee aficionado who spends an hour every morning dialing in grind size, DOS weight, and brew temperature, you might feel constrained by the pre-programmed settings. The machine offers limited manual override, so you won't have the fine-grained control that a semi-automatic or manual espresso maker provides. Similarly, if you entertain large groups regularly and need to churn out multiple drinks in quick succession, the relatively small water reservoir and the need to pause for milk froth cycles could slow you down. Let's talk about the price-to-value equation. On paper, the BMTTULKI is priced in the mid-range for super automatic machines, undercutting some of the big brand options that often come with a premium badge. What you're really paying for is the integration of a grinder, brewing unit, and milk system in a compact footprint. In real-world use, that integration can save you the hassle of buying separate components, and the machine's footprint means it can sit on a kitchen counter without demanding a dedicated nook. For many buyers, the perceived savings from not having to buy a separate grinder or frother balances out the modestly higher initial cost compared to a basic drip coffee maker. A practical weakness that shows up in user experiences across this segment is the noise level. The grinder and brew motor together generate a noticeable hum, especially if you have an open kitchen layout. It's not deafening, but it's loud enough to be a consideration if you're early morning sensitive or have a sleeping toddler nearby. The BMTTULKI doesn't boast any special sound dampening.